Welcome to Classy by Mavi. In this video, we'll be learning how to make this multi-purpose BUBU dress. So I call it multi-purpose because it can be worn as a fitted BUBU dress. It can be worn as a normal BUBU dress. Okay, it can also be worn as a drawstring BUBU dress. So whatever way you want to wear it to bring out the beauty in it. Okay. Here with me is this fabric. I'll be using this fabric. It's a silk fabric with designs. Okay, it has butterfly design, so I'm trying to place the designs nicely for the butterflies to face up. I folded the fabric into two, and I'm here marking the back neck width and the neck depth. I'm marking 3 inches by 1 inch for the back neckline. Okay, so the fabric I'm using, the total fabric is 4 yards of fabric, and I have folded 2 yards into 2 to get my front. And now I'm placing my measurement tape to get the width of my sleeve. Now the width of the sleeve plus the width of your shoulder is what you should mark here. The width of my the length of your sleeve. The length of my long sleeve is 23 inches. Then the width of my shoulder is 14. So 14 divided by 2 gives 7. I've added the 7 to the 23, which gives me 30 inches. So this length, the length of the sleeve here I'm marking is now 30 inches. So I'll simply mark 30 inches and then we'll continue, right? After marking the 30 inches here, I'm sloping down the sleeve, okay, so that the slope will affect the shoulder and make the dress fall nicely. Okay, so I've sloped down with 1 inch and I'll connect back to the neck point. And here I'm done connecting. So the next thing I want to do, I will be inserting my sleeve width measurements. Okay, so the width of my sleeve is, okay, I'll be giving a width of 10 inches. So I'll simply mark 5 inches here, or 6. Let me just make it 6. I've marked 6 inches. So note that this is based on preference. This is just how I want the sleeve to be. Next, on that point, I'll go in by 5 inches. I'll just mark 5 inches inward, okay, to shape up the BUBU a little, right? Okay, I just go in by, you can go with 4, okay, but I later went with 5. So after inserting that mark, I'll simply create a curve like this. Can you see? Ending at that mark, I'll take it straight down. I'm also done with that, so I'm simply cutting out. I'll first of all cut out the neckline. Okay, after the neckline, I'll follow the slanted line on the shoulder area to cut out the shoulders. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've also achieved that, so I'll keep cutting. Can you see? I'll just follow this line I marked down to the end. I'll just cut down to the end. So here we have our back pattern completely cut out. So we'll now be using this back pattern to cut out the front pattern. The alteration will only be on the center area. If you watch well, you'll notice that I have placed my back on another fabric. Okay, this fabric was folded into 2 also, 2 yards. So here I'm just cutting out the front on the shoulders and on the side exactly the way the back is, right? So for the front, the shoulder area and the side are the same with the back. So that's what I'm doing. After cutting it out, I'll explain the center. Now we are done. For the center, as you can see, I have left 2 inches of allowance. Okay, let me confirm it. So I've confirmed, and we are having 2 inches of allowance for the front before I place the back, right? Now I'm marking the neck width, the neck depth. The neck depth I'm marking is 7 inches. I have marked, and then the neck width is 3. So I'm simply connecting to get my V shape. Okay, can you see? So I have connected it to the back neck point there, which is also 3 inches in width, right? So I'll simply cut out what I just marked. So I'm done cutting out, and I'll be separating the 2-inch allowance. Okay, mind you, it's on fold, so I'll separate it. Let me arrange this neckline, okay, to give me that sharp V. So I'm simply trimming off excess fabrics. I've done that. So the next thing is just to separate from the folded edge, so I will have 2 parts for the front. Okay, now both our front and back patterns are ready. Okay, look at what we are having for the front pattern. We are now having 2 pieces. It's now time for us to sew. So here I've cut out these pieces of fabrics, 1-inch pieces in a bias format. That's what I'll be using to finish up the necklines, okay, both for the front neckline and for the back neckline. Here I want to simply start with the back neckline. Okay, watch carefully. So I'm picking up the pieces, then I will align the right side of the bias to face the wrong side. Okay, the right side will be facing the wrong side of my fabric. Can you see? Though you might not see it clearly, but that's what I'm doing. Okay, now I'm at the end. Okay, so I'll simply cut off excess fabrics and excess thread, and then we'll continue to finish up the neckline. So next we'll just fold it like this to cover up the raw edges. Okay, so I have folded, and I'll be stitching very close to the end. I'm top stitching right now after folding. Can you see? I folded it over, okay, towards the right side of the fabric, and I'm simply stitching. I'm top stitching and I'm arranging while top stitching. Can you see? I'm ensuring that all raw edges are trapped inside, right? I'm also done with that. Okay, so our neckline for the back is ready. I'm simply cutting off the excess there. Okay, so just take a look at the neckline for the back. Can you see the neckline for the back? Okay, so this is it. I'll press down nicely using my hot iron, and then for now we are done with the back. Take a look at the neckline, the shoulders, so keep it aside, and also do exactly the same thing for the front neckline. Welcome back, dear creatives. Now I'm done with both the back neckline and the front neckline. Here is the back neckline. Okay, and then take a look at it. Take a look at the shoulder areas. We'll keep it aside and also check out the front neckline. Okay, note that we also use bias to finish up the front neckline, just like we did with the back neckline. Can you see? This is it, and this is one side of the front neckline. Then here, one side of the front, and then here is the second side of the front. Okay, so joining it at the middle here will give us that sharp V shape. Can you see? So we'll be joining it, so we'll be able to create our drawstring channel. Okay, now to create the drawstring channel, I will be placing right side to each other and wrong side outside for the front, for the 2 front patterns. Then I'll stitch straight down at the middle using 1 inch of allowance, right? So I'll go over to my machine now and run those stitches. Here I'm also done running the stitches at the middle. Can you see this? Okay, so this is what we are having. Let me open it up for you to see. Can you see? So you may not see down to the end because my table is not too wide. Can you see this? So this is how it is down to the end. So I'll go over to my ironing table and also press down nicely. Dear creatives, here we are. I'm done pressing down. So this is it. Can you see how beautiful it looks? Now, to create our drawstrings, we'll simply be folding the allowance, right? I'll fold on one part, I'll be folding with half an inch. I'll fold half an inch in like this. Can you see? And then stitch very close to the edge. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll be stitching down to the end this way, right? Okay. Then on the other side too, I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll now go over to my machine and run the stitches. Now, if you are a beginner, you can pin down. As you are folding, you pin down, fold, pin down before you run your stitches so that it will be very easy for you. Now here we are. I'm done running the stitches and this is what we are having. Can you see? So here is our drawstring channel. We have 2 channels there. So it has been beautifully created. Okay. I hope you like this. It is beautiful. So we are progressing in our dressmaking. Now with me here, I've prepared these drawstrings. Can you see? 2. Okay. This can be as long as you want. Okay. Mine are not too long. Doesn't matter. So I've created them. I'll be inserting them. But before then, let's continue sewing. Now look at our BUBU dress on the right side. I'm opening up the right side now. Can you see? Okay. So this is it. I'll still also go over to my ironing table to press these midpoints nicely. Now I'm done running the stitches, so I still need to make the area relax nicely. So assuming we have ironed, this is what we'll do next. So because I'll go over and iron nicely before I join the shoulders, but I want to show you how I'll be joining the shoulders. Can you see? I'll align the back neckline to the front neckline like this and join the shoulders down to the end. Okay, I'll do the same thing on both sides. Now I'm done joining by the shoulders. Can you see? So I join down to the end. So our front and back patterns have been joined by the shoulders. Now before I go ahead and join by the sides, we will be making this BUBU a fitted BUBU. Okay, so we'll not be joining by the side first. We'll work on the front so that it will become a fitted BUBU. So here is what we have to do. So you simply measure from your shoulder tip. Okay, you measure your shoulder to waistline measurements. That's your front half length measurements. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to insert here. So I'll be inserting and marking mine 16 inches. So after doing that, I have marked a line on that waistline area. Okay, and then after marking that line, you will now trace the midpoint of your dress. Then on the midpoint, you will mark a quarter of your waistline circumference measurement. My waistline circumference is 28. 28 divided by 4 gives me 7. So I'll be marking 7 towards each side of the waistline, right? So I've marked on both sides, and these are the points in which I'll be inserting my belts. And here are my belts. I've prepared these belts 5 inches folded into 2. Then I stitch with a quarter of an inch. So in total, I'm having a belt width of 2 inches. Okay, the length doesn't really matter. You can do any length provided you can tie it at the back of your body. Okay, so I'll go over to my machine now and stitch the belt to this line I just marked on each side. Okay, I have marked 2 lines, one on the other side, but it is not really visible. Let me see if you can see it. Okay, so on this other side there is also a marked line. Let me just go over to the machine and stitch it. So here we are. I'm done stitching. Can you see our belt? So nice. So our BUBU is now a fitted BUBU, front fitted BUBU. When you wear the BUBU, you'll be tying it towards the back. Mind you, these belts are attached to the back, not on the front, right? On the back, on the inside of the BUBU. So just take note of that. So after inserting my belts, I've gone ahead to stitch the sides down to the end. Can you see? So what is next is now for us to go over and finish up the sleeves. Okay, fold the hem of the sleeves. Can you see? We finish up the sleeves, both sleeves, and then we also need to finish up the hem line. But while we are finishing up the hem line of the dress, we'll be leaving out the drawstring channel area, right? We'll not stitch on the channel area. Welcome back once again. We are done stitching on the hem, finishing up the sleeve and the hem. Then, just like I mentioned earlier, I've left this part open. Can you see? So we can insert our cords to create our drawstring, right? So they are still left open. It's now time for us to insert the drawstrings. You can actually use anything to insert this, but with me here, I'm having this underbrow wire that I'm not using because I actually bought the oversize. Okay, I ordered for it, they sent me the oversize, so it's not useful to me for the underbrow wire purpose, so I'm using it to serve purposes like this. It is useful for me in this area. So here I am trying to insert the underbrow wire to the cord. Okay, I've done that, so I'll just pass through the channel with this underbrow wire. Okay, so the first cord is out on this other side. Can you see? Trying to bring the under wire out, so I have done that. Can you see? So I'll still follow the same process and insert the second cord. Okay, I'm trying to secure this cord so it will not fall off while I'm inserting the second cord. So I'll follow the same procedure and insert the second cord, then we'll be through. So we have successfully inserted the second cord too. The next thing to do is to fold over like this and finish up the hem line. Okay, by that time both cords will be trapped there and our dress will be ready. Here I am also done. Can you see? So the cords are inside on both sides. So this is our dress. And you want to wear this bubu, you can wear it in different ways. Our bubu is ready. Take a look at the neckline area. Our cord is here. Our cords are here. So you just to draw it to give your bubu a shape, the exact shape you want. And then you hide the cords inside of your body and your neckline will remain balanced. Check it out. Check out the fitting on my mannequin. Note that you can actually insert the cords from the neckline and then stop the neckline, stop the cords at the neckline if you want the ropes falling down. But for me, I like it this way. Please subscribe to my channel for more interesting tutorial like this.